It is October 28th. A new episode of The Take is coming your way next. The Dodgers have won the World Series. They beat the Rays in Game 6. They win the series 4-2 in a very, very head-scratching game, the way you'd want to call it. 3-1 victory. We're going to dive into all that next. The New York Mets might have a new owner by Friday. Steve Cohen, the votes, the election will be on Friday, and some NFL. NFC West continues to be the best division in football, and the New York Jets continue to be the worst team in football. They're winless. Take is next. So the World Series is over, and the Dodgers win in 6 before we unravel a crazy day or crazy night that was the MLB. Please like, subscribe to the channel, follow us on socials, on Twitter, Instagram, at The Take Sports Pod, and on Instagram, The Take Sports Cast. I said it last week, at some point after Game 1, the Dodgers looked like the better team. They looked alive. They looked that they wanted this. And over the course of the week in the games, it was going back and forth. No team won consecutive games until the Dodgers won games 5 and 6. And they made it a series. It showed you why the two best teams were in the World Series, the number ones from each league. So we saw Game 4. Kenley Jansen comes in. Dave Roberts tried to trust his closer after not being able to trust him for the entirety of the postseason. So Dodgers up 2-1, right? They got 2 outs, man on first and second, Kiermaier, Rosarena, and you bring up Brett Phillips. First World Series at bat, hasn't done much really at all. Really just this bench guy, pinch runner person that Kevin Cash has been going to. He comes up to get the at bat. He fights off a cutter that flares one in the center. The craziest play of, recent World Series memory, baseball memory, personally for me. Chris Taylor botches it. The game's going to be tied anyway. Arozarena, he's running around. He's rounding third. He falls in the base path. Taylor makes a good throw. Muncy, good cutoff. Will Smith, that catcher, is expecting a bang-bang play. That's the reason why he made this swipe tag. He misses the ball completely. Randy's going back and forth. He ends up scoring, and the series is tied at 2 apiece. So immediately what I thought about, and because of the Dodgers, I thought about Game 5 of the 2017 World Series between the Dodgers and Astros at Minute Maid Park when Jansen gave up the game-winning hit to Bregman. I thought that this game was the immediate Dodgers can easily put the series away, and they let momentum get right back in the hands of their opponent. Rays tying the series at 2 apiece, and I thought Rays have all the momentum. They have, their guys on the bump coming up in Glasnow and Snell up for 1 and 2. Game 5, Kershaw came to play. Kershaw showed up, and overall, I'm really happy that his narrative of not being a postseason performer, not being clutch, being so close and not being able to get that win is really over with. He got his ring. Couldn't be happier for him. He really deserved it, and he showed up this year in the playoffs and in the World Series. And then we go to Game 6. All right, Dodgers have a 3-2 lead. Rays are coming in. All right, we have our lefty. We have our ace. We have Snell. He's been arguably our best pitcher. He hasn't given us the innings that we've been hoping, but he's been our guy. Well, he comes in. He strikes out the side in the first inning. Everything's working. His slider, his fastball, his curveball, he's on point. And then Kevin Cash wants to get cute. Gives up his second hit of the game to Austin Barnes. So lineup flips over, and Cash decides to take him out. And this whole analytic thing of seeing the third time around the order, at some point it's got to be what you see and how you're seeing it. Betts, Seager, Turner. 1, 2, 3. Coming up next, right? Against Snell last night, 0 for 6 with 6 strikeouts. He struck out all 3 of them in both at-bats. And not even like hard fought crazy hard-fought at-bats. He was dominating them. Betts didn't have anything. Turner couldn't catch up to the slider. Seager was out in front on the slider and curveball all night, chasing things in the dirt. It wasn't even close. But you decide to go to Nick Anderson, who, okay, regular season, he was kind of your closer. He was your guy. He's been your worst pitcher this postseason. He's given up runs in every outing that he's been a part of. And first thing, 2 pitches in, Mookie Betts doubled down the line. Second and third, 1 out. Wild pitch, ties the game. Infield comes in, fielder's choice. Mookie makes a great read off the bat, makes a great jump, 2-1. And a little bit later, off Fairbanks, gets a hanger. Mookie hits a home run. Corey Seager won the MVP. He was great. And I thought that Kershaw could have had a chance to get it. And maybe he thought Betts too. But outside of out of 2 games, Seager was the guy he was hitting. He was hitting 400 in the series. He was really good. Kershaw's 2 starts, so I thought were really important. And especially for Dave Roberts, I think Julio Urias was, without a doubt, his most important guy to go to. Shut the door last night. Pitched 80 pitches a few nights ago. He was a stud. And I really like how he put his trust in the kid. Obviously, he's had this experience. He came up when he was really young. He didn't flinch. He didn't get anyone else warmed up. It was his inning the entire way, and he got the final out of this World Series. So I guess for what it's worth, say what you want about the 60 games and maybe this is a flawed season or whatever. I really don't see it that way. This, for me, this World Series felt real. The whole postseason I felt the intensity even without no fans. It was the best part of the season. And I know many people don't want to see this format with the wild card and having this expanded playoffs. Like, it was good for the shortened season. I mean, we should go back to what it was. But for me, these playoffs were great. And I think it was great for the sport, great for the fans, just to be able to watch a full month's worth of postseason baseball and seeing the performers at the highest caliber perform. So for me, this World Series seemed so real and everything was there for it that I don't think that you can say, hey, 60 games, who cares? The Rays and the Dodgers had to go through a whole new series, winning a full 2 other games in that beginning. And although they got the job done quick, you still had to do it. So where do you go from here, I guess? We'll bash Kevin Cash until the cows come home. That's for sure. During the 7th inning, the Dodgers found out that Justin Turner tested positive for COVID. And in the 2nd inning, they found out, all right, tests are inconclusive. We don't know what's going on. 7th inning, they come back, all right, it was positive. They had to pull him from the game. They had to bring in Edwin Rios to go and play third. But holy crap. They win. He was told you got to stay in isolation. And I know it's tough. Obviously, this is your moment. You want to be on the field with your friends. Well, Turner said, fuck it. I don't give a shit. He went back out on the field. He's out there with his wife. He had a mask on for a little bit and then he took it off. When he's taking the pictures with the trophy and the team, took it off. He didn't give a shit. Well, for me, yes, it's a bad look. But even more so looking at it, what if Tampa Bay came back to win Game 6? And he tested positive in that 7th inning. Let's say Tampa Bay comes back and wins. You're waiting for a Game 7. When the fuck would that game have occurred? Because it wasn't going to happen today. You would need each team isolated in their hotels. You'd have to be testing the families that were there, all that stuff. It would have been insanely, it would have been so bad for Manfred. And as much crap that he's gotten this year for a number of things, and some of it's, rightfully so, but if the Rays win that game, what do you do? Are you waiting a week At that point, it's 3-3. The series is tied, and after a week, you forget everything that happened, and you're playing one game. You're basically saying, all right, the whole series is like in the back of our heads. Like we can't even think about 3-3 because you're literally playing basically that wild card win or go home. You're playing a one game for the title. MLB got very lucky that the Dodgers won last night because they would have had to deal with a lot of protocol, a lot of testing. Obviously, they're testing now, but that's all in the back of everyone's mind just because, all right, season's over. We'll stay here a few extra days if we have to. We got nothing, time's on our side. We got nothing to do. But boy, MLB would have had shit on their hands if the Rays won Game 6 and we had a Game 7. I'm all for clusterfucks and chaos. It would have been really interesting to see how they played it. But the Dodgers, LA, it's been LA's year. Lakers, Dodgers, they're winning chips. Tampa Bay will be back. And who knows what happens with Kevin Cash. I don't think this deserves any firing or, for what he did. But Blake's now pissed. You think when he hits free agency, he's going to want to stay here if this is how he's going to be treated as a pitcher? He wants these high leverage innings. He wants these high leverage games. And he showed you that he can do it. Kevin Cash is going to be tossing and turning for pulling him. It's going to be something he's going to think about for the rest of his life. Something that Pete Carroll knows a lot of with that, with this whole Super Bowl and wanting to throw it and not run it. It's a decision like that sticks in your brain for the rest of your time. Because now you're going, well, hey, next time I'm back there, it's not going to happen. Who knows if you're going to be back there? Meet the Mets, meet the Mets, step right up and greet the Mets. Steve Cohen's gonna save this team. Jeff Wilpon said goodbye to the whole organization. Steve Cohen, on Friday, it's gonna be decided whether or not he's gonna be owning this team. Right? Isn't it crazy? Christian thinks it's crazy. I think it's crazy. But, Jeff Wilpon already said goodbye on a Zoom call earlier this week. People that are employed by this organization felt that he is absolutely done. And there's a lot of factors. So Cohen got the vote by the committee last week. He's waiting on Friday for all the owners of Major League Baseball to be voting. But then even after that gets approved, there's been scare that Mayor Bill de Blasio could halt this from happening. Obviously, Citi Field and just having the ballpark where it is in Queens, he can decide whether or not he wants this ownership to happen. And him being pretty close with Jeff Wilpon, obviously, for all these years, if Jeff knows that he's out and done, there's no reason why de Blasio is going to do anything to halt that from happening. World Series is finally over. It's a big reason why I've been wanting the World Series to be over, so this can occur. Steve Cohen, there's a lot of questions to be made. Will he blow it? Will he just blow the entire thing up? Is Brody gone? Does he bring in a new GM that chooses his own manager? So that makes Luis Rojas a manager for only 60 games. We know that what's first is, yes, he has the money, and we want him to be spending in free agency once it gets started. We want big names like George Springer. We want big names like JT Realmuto, Trevor Bauer. The first thing that they have to do, and what they've been talking about, is revamping their entire front office and analytics department. They're thinking about bringing back Sandy Alderson, maybe not so much as a GM, but definitely a front office baseball ops type of person, and they bring in a young general manager that is qualified. And obviously Brody Van Wagenen is not qualified, wasn't qualified, didn't make any sense when they hired him. So I think that's the first move. They see a complete revamp in baseball ops and how this team has to be ran on a daily basis and what we see on the field. What the dugout, what the manager is using to decide ball games and when they make their decisions. So before they go for anything, I think that's the biggest thing that I'm excited about is that whether or not Steve Cohen decides to keep Brody on, because at that point he's not going to be making the decisions. If he's really going to bring in Sandy, it's going to be Sandy that's going to be making most decisions, and it's going to come down the chain of authority. But I hope he gets rid of Brody. It'd be a tough thing to let Rojas go. Maybe in some capacity you keep him in the organization. He's been with the Mets organization for his entire career. If you decide that the new GM wants his new guy, I get that. I don't think you could fire him just based on the fact, all right, hey, you played 60 games. He got thrown into a fire even before the season started with the whole Beltran hiring and them having to have him step down with the whole Houston Astros scandal. So that in itself might be a decision that they have to come down to. And it might be 50-50. They might think, all right, yeah, we're fine moving on with Rojas. We might, pick a new guy. So these are all decisions that have to be made. My hopeful prediction is that they get George Springer and they sign him to a big deal, and then they bring back Marcus Stroman. They need to bring back Marcus Stroman. I think that he is too valuable to bring back, and I know you want Trevor Bauer, and I know he's a great pitcher. All right, for me, it's a small sample size. He was great this year. He might win the Cy Young, but even before the season, his ERA was north of 4.5. I like Stroman. He's a guy you want on your team. He's a professional, and he'll be a stud number 2. And you have Syndergaard coming back. So I think that 1 through 3, what you thought this rotation was going to become, we'll have. And then you get a real center fielder in Springer. Okay, he's 31, 32. I want to give him the money. Power hitting center fielder. Knows how to play defense. Immediately you throw him into the leadoff hole, or maybe you throw him into the 2 or 3. Springer's always been a really good power leadoff hitter. Gets the offense going really quick. I think he's your guy, and I know people want a Real Muto at catching. The catcher position has been depleted for them over the course of the past few years. Ramos, you got one good season, things like that. But I think center field is where you have to go, and if it means trading Nimmo for maybe some pitching help, maybe another type of catcher, then so be it. I think that's the move they have to go to. We'll see Friday. This is going to be the biggest offseason for Met fans in their entire lifespan. In their entire lives. This is the biggest offseason. What's to come? There's going to be so much news, and I'm really excited for it. DK Metcalf is a robot. I think we can confirm that. That was probably the most impressive play I've ever seen on a football field on Sunday night. Russ throws this lollipop toss to Chris Carson on a screen pass. Buda Baker comes through, and he picks that thing off. Literally at the goal line. Boom. You're going all the way. DK goes from the 1-yard line all the way inside the 15 to run him down. He had to switch momentum going to the end zone, stop himself, go on the other end of the field to catch up to him. DK Metcalf is not human. Confirmed. And Buda Baker was even mic'd up for this play. He was going, I can't believe that guy caught my ass. How the hell did you do that? Unbelievable. And, obviously the Cardinals inside the 15, it was great to stop them from a gimme touchdown. And you're like, all right, cool. Instead of 7, we'll give them up 3. Cardinals went for it on 4th down and turned it over. No points. Cardinals got no points from that play, and it was because of DK Metcalf. And I think it's important to look at Metcalf in terms of effort and just growing over the course of the season in a quick span. When he caught that touchdown, lollygagged, and he actually fumbled the ball prior to getting in the end zone, which cost them 7. Seeing this kind of like switch of this is the guy you're getting, the one that's going to give you the effort to run down a defensive back for a touchdown, is he had that one lapse this year where he caught that deep ball by Russ, didn't get the 7. He said to himself, I will never be doing that again. That's because for him, that's saying that's effort. That's me being stupid. That's me not being able to carry on and keep the ball. And again, this is his second year. But I think Russ knows, DK knows that he could be, in the next few seasons, without a doubt, the best receiver this league has. Now, the Seahawks lost on Sunday night after a thriller. Seattle, they don't play a regular football game. There's no 1 o'clock, 4 o'clock games where Seattle's like, we'll win 28-10. We'll take a break. No, they play in overtime every week. They're playing, final drive for Russ to win it every game. It's never easy for them. And somehow they always get the job done. But, like I said last week, the Cardinals are a really, really good team. They're so balanced. And the Cardinals defense showed up again this week. They made the late plays. They picked off Russ a few times. And that last interception in OT, where after Zane Gonzalez missed the game-winning field goal for Russ to march down just to get the game-winning field goal for Seattle, ends up throwing this kind of floater. Obviously did not see the linebacker come around the soft side. Picks him off right off the bat. They run a few more plays. Gonzalez, he redeems himself and gets the win. I said last week, but, kind of retracting a little bit. Even though these teams play each other twice a year, this entire division, all 4 of these teams are going to make the playoffs. Niners are in last place and they're 4-3. Now, you have 7 teams as of right now in the division. One of them is going to win the division. And there's a chance that all 3 of these teams get wild card or that 7th spot. You think out of the South, you get the Bucks and the Saints. Panthers are still an interesting team, so we don't know with Teddy. We could see this Thursday night game against the Falcons be a big game for Carolina. Matt Rule and that squad's been playing very well. But this division is so good. Some of the best teams in football, all beating up on each other. It's insane. Now, moving over to the worst division in football, which is the NFC East. This Sunday's a big game, and you might think, all right, 4-2-1, 2-5. Both these teams suck. They stink. None of them are good. None of them have a quarterback. None of them have an offensive line. Where's the offense coming from? Here's the thing. Whoever wins this game, you have the edge on the division. This game is huge. And I like the Eagles. I mean, the Cowboys got no quarterback. DiNucci. The kid. James Madison. DiNucci. James Madison. I like the Eagles. The Eagles, I think, even with this beaten up O-line, not having anyone except Kelsey healthy, who knows if Lane Johnson plays, snaps if he gets on. I like the Eagles, but it's a game to look out at, right? Because whoever wins this game, especially head-to-head in division, could be the team that wins this division. Jets, 19.5 dog. 19.5 dog against Kansas City. You might think, wow, I got it. That's 3 touchdowns. That's 3 touchdowns, Nick. That's a lot of points. This is almost like a college type of spread. Well, listen. This is the Le'Veon Bell revenge game. For all you Clyde Edwards-Helaire fantasy owners, you might want to look out for this game. Because I think Andy Reid, maybe CEH gets more carries. Look at Bell in the passing game. This team's one of the best screen teams out there. Look for Bell to get a lot of touches. He's going to just stomp on Adam Gase's face with what he does this week. I wouldn't. If you're going to touch this number, you put it on the Chiefs. The Chiefs are going to obliterate this team. Pat Mahomes is going to run all over this team. He's going to throw touchdowns to 3 different receivers. He's going to throw for 3 touchdowns, and he might run one in. Clyde Edwards-Helaire, he might run one in. This game's going to be ugly. And the Jets going to be 0-8. Goose egg. The worst team in the league. I've been saying this every week now. I keep saying, I'm a broken record. This team is so bad. This team is so bad. Why wouldn't you put the points on the Chiefs? They're going to blow them out. Doesn't matter. And I guess last but not least, for just talking some football, turn back the clock a little bit. Dez Bryant, he's back. Baltimore Ravens. Antonio Brown, AB, to the Bucks. I love both of these moves. And with AB, I like it even more because we saw the one game he played last year was with New England, and he linked up with Tom Brady for a touchdown. He had a really nice game. This offensive core is gross. Especially now, over the past few weeks, we've seen Tom go back to Gronk in the end zone. You got Chris Godwin, Mike Evans, Gronkowski, and now Antonio Brown. That's a dirty 3 wide set. And Rojo in the backfield for him, Fournette for him. And don't forget about the little guy, Scotty Miller. This Tampa Bay team is a legit Super Bowl contender. They are very good. Don't sleep on them. As much as my Saints, I think they're going to win the division, Tampa Bay could easily win this division still. They're finally clicking on all cylinders. They look really good. And Dez gets signed to the practice squad for Baltimore. He'll be there soon. He's just got to get more reps in. And we've been waiting on his return for a while. He signed with the Saints, ended up tearing that Achilles in those practices. I think this is a really good move for Baltimore and John Harbaugh's team. Got Hollywood Brown. You use Dez on the outside, Mark Andrews on the inside. Still Willie Snead in the slot. This could be another, good balanced offense for Lamar Jackson. And then, of course, you got Ingram, J.K. Dobbins in the backfield, Gus Edwards. So it helps their team a lot for these offensive weapons. So we'll see, hey, who does better, AB or Dez? Comment below, honestly. AB or Dez? Who do you like out of this? Whose situation is better? Who's going to get more targets? Again, AB's has been suspended out of the league for, he's serving this 8 games. Dez, we don't know what he's going to be. We haven't seen any elite stuff from him in a long time. Nick's Best Bets up next. We're going to take some picks from the Falcons-Panthers game for Thursday night. Last week went 2-1, up 0.8 units. Another positive day. Nick Best Bets are now 14-6. We're up over 4.5 units. So follow these plays coming up next. Nick's Best Bets, Thursday Night Football edition. Falcons-Panthers division showdown. 2 plays I like. There's not many plays up right now on my local book or DraftKings. So the 2 that I did like that I could give out to you was a 6-point teaser with the Panthers at plus 3.5 combined with the over 43.5. That's going to pay out minus 110. Put 110 on it, you win 100. I'm going to play this play for sure. I like this one a lot. Might get it in early. Might do it right now as we speak. And then my second play is Falcons first half over 11.5. That's minus 120. This won't be, I don't think this is going to be like a shootout, going back and forth in the 30s. But I do like the Panthers having an edge. With the teaser, it gives them some cushion to lose by 3 and still get a win. But I definitely see this being 27-24 or 24-20, something around there. I still like the Falcons offense. I think the Falcons defense stinks. But the Falcons offense I still think is very good. How many losses can the Falcons take in the last 2 minutes of the game? They choked another one away against the Lions. Matt Stafford brought the Lions back. They're becoming a meme at this point. It's embarrassing. They're not good. I mean, Todd Gurley trying not to score a touchdown. You had defensive players on the Lions putting their arms up, hoping that he scored. That just doesn't happen. But I like the Falcons' offense to click. CMC might come back for Carolina. Who knows? Teddy's been playing pretty well. I really think this is a really great fit for him. I think Carolina's a really solid team. So 6-point teaser, Panthers plus 3.5 with an over at 43.5. And then Falcons first half over of 11.5. These are my 2 best bets for Thursday Night Football. Gamble responsibly. Thank you for stopping by this week, October 28th. Next time we see you, it will be November. Have a happy Halloween. And there's 3 guarantees in life: death, taxes, and the New York Jets being the most incompetent organization in professional sports. See ya.